Hospopreneurs. Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Hospopreneurs Podcast. I'm James and I wanted to start this because I have a real passion for hospitality and entrepreneurship, and I wanted to share that with the broader community and provide insights in the hospitality industry and to people in the industry, out of, everywhere. Anyone who has sipped a cocktail or raised a glass, to sound kind of corny there. I want to share this with you guys. But this episode, I want to talk a little bit more about my journey, but in the future episodes, from episode 2 onwards, I want to get to really into the meat of it and be interviewing people in the industry. So anyone who's been involved with a cafe, bar, restaurant, club, a chain, a group, anyone who's managed, owned, worked in any of these places. I want to get involved. I want to understand their creative process, how they design cocktails, and how they think about all these things. So I've loved being in the industry myself, and I'll get to that in a minute. And I would love to share that passion with you guys. So that's why I've started this podcast, to bring that to you. Now, my journey in hospitality really began in grade 11, sort of getting close to the end of school, and we were offered to take a bartending course over the September break. So I took this bartending course over the break, the entire break, and I spent that time learning. When I came back, I was really glad that I did this course, and I had a fantastic time, and I really wanted to work in the industry. So I got a bar job. I worked in a bar called Iceworks in Paddington, in Brisbane, and I had an amazing time as a glassy, or a busboy for those who use that particular term. If you're not from here, we call them glassies in Brisbane. So doing all the picking up glasses and getting stock and mopping the toilets and all the weird and wonderful things you have to do as a glassy, just part of the job. Just got to get it done, So I had a great time as a glassy, and then when I started uni, I didn't think I could hack the hours, and I wanted to concentrate on uni, study well. At that time, I wanted to be an accountant, just like my dad. I wanted to be an accountant, and that quickly changed when I started uni, but I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself at the time. After sort of getting involved in different groups at uni, I really connected with people who thought differently, who thought outside the box and really liked to challenge the status quo. Not in a super progressive sense, in more of a innovative thinker sort of sense. People who are in the startup space, and entrepreneurs, and people who started their own businesses or wanted to start their own businesses. And so I got involved in that space, and I learned a lot. I partnered with different entrepreneurs and helped them with their ventures, everything from food processing, food tech to tech. And I had a great time. So later in that journey, in about my 4th year, I wanted to start my own business. I came up with an idea for a everyone comes up with this, but a coffee loyalty application, and for me, or coffee loyalty business. And so it was really if you can imagine, a Go card for those in Brisbane, or it's effectively a Metro card or a travel card where it uses RFID technology, but to speak English for those who don't know that one, it uses, basically you can touch the card on and off when you travel. So I wanted to use this for coffee loyalty, so you could rank up points and then spend those points on free coffees, and really gamify the system and make it really fun to try new coffee shops and level up and have a good time exploring. the world of coffee. So I started that, and then Rewardle was a business that came in. They just raised capital. They came up from Melbourne, I'm pretty sure, and rolled us. So we had to pivot. We changed our model up and moved into nightlife, and eventually it evolved, and we ended up building an app called Ambi, which was a rewards app for bars. And basically, by spending time in bars, you got points, and then you could spend those points on free drinks, meals, and discounts, and the like, which was obviously very exciting to be a patron at the time. So we built Ambi, we had a great time, we were doing well, starting to get a bit of traction, had a lot of venues in Brisbane interested in it, and then it ended up failing because of a technical problem that we had. So Ambi unfortunately ended, and I was a little bit lost. While I was building Ambi, actually, I took a job in a pub here at the Stock Exchange Hotel, and I had a great time. I loved working there for 2 years. I'm not there anymore, but I was there for 2 years, and I learned a lot, a hell of a lot, and I love the energy in the energy of Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, putting on a show. I kind of feel like as a bartender, it's your job to put on a show, and really I used to call myself I could say this in a different context, but you're a conduit of a good time, and it's your job to provide the best time for a patron as possible. So I just love that. I love putting on a show, and maybe it comes from my music background, but I love putting on a show and taking people to a place where they're having a good time, even in the same space. They might be having a bad time when they walk in and walk out with a smile. And I think I took even that thing that I just said, I took that away from my days at Apple. I worked at Apple, which was incredible. Taught me a shitload about marketing. That's for sure. But I've digressed. So back to the bar. I spent a lot of time at Stockies, and I loved it while I was building Ambi. And after that, when Ambi failed, I continued working at Stockies, and then after that, I worked at Miss K's, which is it's a burger bar in the CBD in Brisbane, and I'm having a great time there. I'm still there, but after Ambi ended in the entrepreneurial sense for me, I was a bit lost. I didn't know what I was doing, or what I could do. I had invested a lot of myself in Ambi because I spent 2 years building it. So I realized eventually that I was working in the business and not on the business. And this is a real problem it can be a problem for a lot of entrepreneurs, for people who've experienced it or yet to experience it. Heed my warning, but you should definitely be working on the business if you're an entrepreneur instead of in it. So anyway, I was lost, and eventually I ended up building a community called Make It Happen, which is a bunch of people who want to learn and grow every day. It's a community for thinking big and taking action. So all these people come together, we meet up, but that's another matter. So Make It Happen is something that I've been building. And another little thing called Smart Fruit, which is B2B fruit education. And I'm having a great time with that one too. It's a smaller thing, helping my friend who is in the fruit industry. So I love marketing. After coming a long way from studying finance at uni, which looking at it now, even though I know a bit about it, I didn't really enjoy it. I mean, I love the books and I love numbers, but I love people a lot more. So that's sort of what led me into hospitality, and I just have really enjoyed being in the world and had my eyes open from the day that I worked in the bar back in grade 11 after I took that bar job till now, and I hope that that continues. And I went on a little holiday last year to Melbourne because I'd never been, and I heard it was the real hospitality mecca of Australia. And yeah, and it definitely delivered. I went to 84 different bars in a matter of 3.5 weeks. And I came back with a plan. A strategy, and I started executing that strategy. So this was actually written as part of my strategy, and I've taken a bit long to execute it, but nonetheless, I am executing it. So I would love to build a lot more in hospitality and learn as much as I can, learn, grow, build. You can probably see the similarities between this and Make It Happen, which is really just a community. I've put a lot of my personal values out into the community, into the world, and just generated a group of people who that has happened to resonate with. So look, I want to share as much value as I possibly can with you guys. Learn, grow together, interview people who know what they're talking about, who are in the industry, who are creating change and having an awesome time while they're doing it. So sit back, enjoy, and I hope that we have fun together over the coming weeks. Speak with you soon. Cheers.